bring in now Republican Congressman Mark Green of Tennessee, who will get a chance to question the Postmaster General, DeJoy, when he appears before the House Oversight Committee, and that's on Monday. Great to see you today. I want to start with kind of where you want to see this go. We do have a vote on funding from the House tomorrow. What do you think we'll see on Monday that was different than what we saw today?
I think the goal for us is to just make sure that the truth gets out there and that we refute some of these accusations from the left. You look at the need for cash, that question. During the COVID crisis, they've actually made an extra $2.8 billion in package delivery and have enough cash on hand to operate through August of next year, so much so that the $10 billion loan we gave them in the CARES Act isn't even needed until next fall. So this assertion that we've got to quickly get them cash to set up a voting system for elections in November is just a false narrative. And so I want to just make sure we're correcting the record.
So let me follow up on that, because the record didn't have before it today that I knew about an actual ask for cash from the Postmaster General. And what he said was they do need that immediate funding to reimburse for all the COVID things that they've had to reply to. He said no other business has kept up their load of what they needed to do, or agency, the way they have without an infusion of cash. Can they get through November? He said, we're going to do our jobs, of course. But does he need that cash reimbursement? The answer is yes.
According to us, the information that we're getting, they have enough cash on hand for their operational cash flow, just looking at their cash flow statement, to function until August of 2021. So this 25, and they already have a loan of $10 billion that they haven't even asked for. So I'm not sure that they've got to have money to make the November elections be pulled off.
Yeah, he just said reimbursement for COVID. All right, let's move on. Last night, President Trump told Sean Hannity he would send law enforcement to polling places to prevent fraud. Watch.
We're going to have everything. We're going to have sheriffs, and we're going to have law enforcement, and we're going to have, hopefully, U.S. attorneys, and we're going to have everybody, and attorney generals.
What's your reaction to that?
Well, I think, we absolutely have to be prepared to ensure that every citizen gets an opportunity to vote and votes. In Philadelphia a few years ago, there were, people blocking polling stations. That shouldn't happen. And when you add in the layer of tension that we've had this year, in which, by the way, you've done a fantastic job reporting on, that could create some problems for the election situation. So, yeah, we've got to have law enforcement standing by, ready to go to make sure that people have access to polling stations. I support that.
One of the things that the president has said is that if you can do certain other activities, you should be able to vote in person. Coronavirus pandemic, so much a part of where we are. And making those polling places safe also would include people wearing masks. The science shows that. That would be the anticipation. Do you think the president needs to speak up on that issue? If we're sending in law enforcement, will they also be tasked with making sure that those places are COVID safe?
I think the polling the polling sites themselves can take care of that. I don't think we necessarily need to send,
That's
additional.
where a lot of the violence has broken out. If you look at places trying to keep people in masks, like in retail, that's what I'm asking when you talk about safety of polling.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary just for that, but I think the violence that is going to happen needs to be prevented and blocked. They need to do intelligence, and get inside these organizations, particularly organizations like Antifa that are setting up these anarchist type riots. That kind of stuff they need to be doing right now.
Do we know that that's happening at polling places potentially? Is there any intel that the public should know?
There's been none to date. None so far, at least. And a lot of primaries have happened. We had one here in Tennessee. There were no issues related either to the COVID. People wore their masks and but there's been no violence at all.
Representative Green bringing us that good news today. And again, always great to have you on the program. Thank you. Good to see you.